Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Happy Tuesday, guys! This weekend I traveled again. I traveled to St. Petersburg in Russia just to walk, to think, to get new ideas, to finish a new blog. And I realized, even more so than before, that I really need to travel, to move, to see new places, to see new faces, to keep my work going, to get new ideas, to get new solutions, to just be more of me and to make new decisions, to advance my causes, to advance my life. And also, I wanted to travel to see once again, how is the world out there, what people are up to, that I needed to see that the life is still going. No matter what they say on the news, the world keeps going and people keep living their lives, starting new things, starting new businesses, new ventures, getting married, having kids. Like, the world is still going. And guys, traveling made me realize so much that we have only one life. And if we keep waiting for somebody to decide that it's safe to keep living, then, well, we might miss out on a whole lot of things and nobody's getting the second chance. So, guys, no matter what age you are at, you're not getting that back twice. So whatever you want to do, this is the day to do it. This is the time to do it. And whether it's coronavirus or economic meltdown or anything else, you still gotta do it. We take what is and we do the best, with whatever we have. And that's, I believe, how we all should approach these uncertain times. We shouldn't be waiting for anything, because guess what, guys? Nothing is guaranteed, like literally nothing. Nobody knows what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, and what's reality gonna be like. So take what is today and run with it. That's my main message, my motivational message. So now let's get back to nutrition and health. As I mentioned, I finished a blog while in St. Petersburg in a hotel room. I love writing in hotel rooms. Like, there are no distractions, especially now when there are so few travelers. It's like really quiet and you're in your own bubble and all you have is your writing, your creativity. So that is a very amazing experience for me always. So I love getting into hotel rooms to write, to blog. And I finished this blog, and it's all about food combining and how at the core of most successful diets and healthy eating protocols is food combining. Like, it helps you naturally, even though not all of the diets like keto or plant-based mention food combining, but that's what at that core. And that's what I believe makes them successful, to helping you to improve your health, how you feel, how much energy you have, how easy it becomes, to becomes to lose and maintain weight and just feel better overall. In this blog, I talk about, of course, the practice of food combining, but I also talk about how, for example, keto diet or plant-based diet eliminate that worst possible food combination that is so common in our today's world, if you just eat whatever. And this worst possible food combination is high starch or high carb foods like potatoes, for example, and high protein foods, especially high protein animals. So like meat and potatoes, or steak and potatoes, or pasta and meatballs, or fish and chips, or pizza with a lot of cheese, or salami, or maybe fish. Or what else out there? Like, I had this thing, sandwiches, another thing, traditional sandwich, again, meat and starch, because grains are also starchy. So again, pasta with any cheesy sauce or any meat products. So there are many of those combinations, or maybe turkey with some starchy stuffing, right? And for example, if you take keto diet, there is no high starch, high carb, and high animal protein combination. Or if we take plant-based, there is no starchy food plus animal protein combination. And the problem is not with starch or carbs or animal protein, but that combo. And I'm talking about other different non-beneficial for our digestion, for our gut health combinations that a lot of those diets by default help us to avoid. And I believe that's why we start feeling so much better, because we optimize our food for our human digestive system. And because our digestive system, our digestive system consists of stomach, of small intestine, large intestine, of liver, pancreas, gallbladder. It's the biggest system that all of other systems depend on, because that's where we get our nutrients that all other systems, brain including, heart including, muscles including, all our systems depend on to function properly. Because if we don't get any nutrients properly digested and assimilated and delivered to our cells, nothing is going to function well in our body. So this is the biggest system. And whenever we optimize our eating habits for that system, quite a complicated system. It's not a trash bin. It's not a burner where we can just throw anything in. And when we optimize our food intake for it, we just feel so much better and look better, and we have so much more energy. Our digestion might take 30, 40, 50% of the energy we get from our foods. So when we optimize it and and our body needs less energy to digest foods, we just get so much more energy for life. As simple as that, guys. So I'm really focusing on food combining, studying, researching, reading, and of course practicing, and seeing on my own example, an example of my clients, how it actually works. So food combining, check out the blog on Create Yourself that today. And a few other things that I'd like to mention today. I wanted to share a few tools that I'm focusing on improving the practice of today to help me have more energy, feel better mentally, emotionally, so that I have more mental and physical energy, emotional energy to drive myself to the next level in my life. We are always growing. Tony Robbins likes to say we're either growing or dying in this life. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to be growing. And it seems that we are the healthiest mentally and physically and emotionally when we are growing in one way or the other. So progress, growth, learning in this life, it's very important to our well-being, our human well-being. So what am I practicing to get better health-wise? Quite a couple of things, a few things. For example, I've been using this app for intermittent fasting that keeps me accountable, gives me a lot of different information from good quality sources about intermittent fasting that saves my history, that gives me tips on better fasting. Sometimes new articles, sometimes information about what breaks your fast, when it's best to do it early or late, or how does it work. Intermittent fasting, zero fasting app. This is the best fasting app that again helps you to stay accountable, helps you to learn, helps you to fast better. And they have a paid subscription, zero Plus that I'm using, and it shows you when you are most probably in fat burning state, in ketosis, and again saves your history, shows you how many people are fasting with you. But also there is a free version of this app that works also really, really well, and through which you can also learn a lot. It just doesn't have that fasting coaching feature that Plus version has. Anyhow, that's the app, one of the apps that I've been obsessing about, and I'm using it every day. It really makes a difference, especially when it comes to consistency of fasting behavior. So it always sends you reminders, okay, you're fasting, you're in this zone, you're in this zone, and it just keeps you motivated to keep going. So Zero Fasting app, check that out, guys. Another one, by the way, you will find a link to Zero Fasting app in the show notes, so check it out. Another one, meditation has been a practice of mine for many, many years. I think about 2 decades now. But as with Zero Fasting app, the app for meditation, my favorite app, makes a huge difference. This app, Waking Up app from Sam Harris, who brought meditation practice to the Western world, or made it, I guess, more popularized. One of the people who made it like really, he explained the science behind it and eliminated all the woo-woo out of it. So my favorite app, Waking Up app, where you can also learn about meditation. It's a guided meditation app, meaning you'll be guided through the process. You don't need to know anything about meditation to start it there. And it's a course, so you progress from one lesson to another, and then at some point, once you've finished kind of like the basics course, then you just continue with daily meditation, and you can choose anytime you want. You can choose 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and there are many lectures about meditation, about the nature of consciousness and our mind. So I love this app, and again, it shows you also how many people are meditating with you, how many minutes you've meditated, like how many days in a row you meditated, when you skipped your meditation. So I love this app. It's really worth it. You get, I believe, 7 or 8 days for free, and then you decide to sign up or not. So try it out. I've been meditating with that for I think 1.5 years now, every day. So I can safely say that it's worth your time, and it's going to improve your meditation practice. Another thing is kind of new for myself, and I've been also practicing it for maybe a month or so. Eating beans. I've been, on a keto diet for quite a while, and I kind of thought that beans were a no-no. And then I thought that my gut wasn't really bean friendly, meaning I had many previous examples when I had either indigestion or gas or something else, when some negative experience when I ate beans. But what I learned, that it makes a difference how you cook your beans. So when they pressure cooked, when they soaked, when they properly cooked, maybe, some beans can be sprouted, but all of them needs to be cooked in a certain way to help our digestive system to break them down in a beneficial way without all these digestive issues. So beans, I've been incorporating specifically white beans and red beans. So it matters how you cook them. Also, a lot of carbohydrates in beans are actually fiber, and specific fiber resistant starch. So when we are eating beans, we are not actually getting a lot of carbohydrates, digestible carbohydrates. So they are totally okay on low carb and keto diets, of course, if you're trying to keep your carb count at a certain point, then you need to count certain carbohydrates, not fiber, but the rest. There are some, but they're, again, low carb and keto friendly. What's amazing about beans and why I included and always wanted to include them in my diet. By the way, now I don't have any problems with beans because of two reasons. Because of proper cooking, I actually found local brand who pressure cooks them. Actually, most beans in cans are pressure cooked, so they should be much better for you than even if you cook them yourself without pressure cooking. So that is number one. And number two, I learned how to combine them properly. The problem for a lot of people with beans and digestion is that people combine beans really poorly. Beans, you cannot combine them with a lot of fat. You cannot combine them with any animal protein. You cannot combine them with other starches. That is what usually causes problems. So what can you combine them with? Cooking with other non-starch vegetables, maybe greens in your salads, maybe cooked broccoli, Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, onions, spinach, all these other non-starch vegetables. So when you combine your beans only with those vegetables, and when they're cooked in a proper way, you're not going to experience a lot of digestive issues. But beans, they are superfood of a lot of centenarians, people who live to 100 and more without any significant health problems. Beans feed our gut bacteria in our large intestine specifically. It helps, it's like a superfood for our gut bacteria. Superfood that feeds, again, good gut bacteria that produce short chain fatty acids that are proven to be highly beneficial for our health and especially for our gut health. That resistant starch, our gut bacteria eat it, and then they create substances that help to heal and rebuild gut lining. So beans are actually very healing for our gut when you learn how to eat them. And again, it's a superfood on the menu of almost all centenarians in one way or the other. They all eat beans, cooked appropriately. It also, beans, they are highly, they promote satiety. So it's much easier to eat less when trying to lose weight when you consume beans. Plus, they're super high in nutrients that are quite hard to find in other foods like magnesium and folate and potassium. So, and they are also rich in a lot of different minerals, depends on the bean. So every kind of bean would have slightly different nutritional profile. But if you're looking for magnesium, for resistant starch, for folate, for potassium, for a lot of other minerals, sometimes iron, sometimes more calcium, like different minerals, then beans are your foods. But again, you need to learn how to combine them. You need to learn how to cook them. And canned beans is, in most cases, is a great option. You just cook your other vegetables by themselves, and then you eat your canned beans to that mixture, maybe warm them up a little bit, and your meal is ready to eat. So I've been experimenting with beans, and I just keep feeling better. And they truly keep you so satiated. Like sometimes I would eat 1,000 calories, but with 200 beans in those calories, and I just wouldn't be hungry till the next day. I was so shocked the first few times I did that. It happens every single time. And I feel so happy for no reason. It's so amazing. I think because my gut bugs are just so happy to eat all this resistant starch. So beans, if you have any questions about, certain brands, how to eat your beans, especially if you have some gut issues, some autoimmunity issues. So send me an email, contact me in some way on any social media that I'm on, and I'm more than happy to help you to eat your beans properly. Another thing, morning walks. The more I practice that, the better I feel mentally, emotionally, physically. I just feel fitter, more energetic, more optimistic, more, happier. Morning walks, they're proven to improve your mental health. The closer to sunrise, the better. When you wake up, go for a walk. Just, 10-20 minute walk, more if you want, in nature, even better. That really makes a difference. And then evening walks, they also help you to sleep better. They help your digestion to digest your last meal of the day. They help you to maintain and lose weight easier. They decrease inflammation, any kind of inflammation. They keep you fitter, keep you moving. So walks, evening and morning walks, whenever I can, whenever I'm not on the plane, I do them. Even again, if it's like 10-15 minutes, I still do that. Even if it's raining, if it's freezing, or whatever, that might be, I still do that with an umbrella or without. It doesn't matter. So walks. So you don't have to, run or do anything really intense, but do go for walks in the morning and in the evening. So I've been doing that for quite a while now too. And the more I do it, the more I'm a fan of it. And last but not least, food combining. As I mentioned, I finished a blog that is on Create Yourself That today. So check it out. There are quite a few practical details. And some of the takeaways of my, practical aspects of food combining that really improved the way my digestion works and feels and how much energy I have. So some of those rules that worked for me personally that I before didn't really pay attention to that much. So again, beans, I combine them with non-starchy vegetables, not with animal protein, not with other starches, and also make sure beans still take quite a while to digest. So it's not like you eat them and then in 2 hours you can eat something else. No, probably beans should be the last meal of your day, so your body has the time to digest it properly. And again, with non-starchy vegetables, and don't add too much fat. Like 1-2 tablespoons of olive oil is fine, but adding butter or ghee or any sorts of dairy on top of that, not a good idea. Not a good idea to eat it with fish, with eggs, with anything too complex. Non-starchy vegetables and beans pressure cooked. That's the way to eat your beans. The nuts. I love my nuts and seeds, but if it's more than one handful, you gotta eat them separately, guys, because otherwise they are quite complex for our human digestion. You can slightly roast them, you can soak them and sprout them. That makes it easier, but still, if it's more than a handful, I would highly suggest to eat them separately. And again, they take quite a while to digest, so you'll need to not eat them first thing in the morning. Otherwise, you will need to wait for quite a while before your body is fully digested nuts, and you can eat other foods that might not combine that well with nuts. The next one, eating one kind of protein at a time. I used to mix eggs with fish and sometimes with shellfish and sometimes even, with liver and all of it together, sardines, liver, eggs. And my digestion wasn't running that smooth, to be honest. And once I started applying this rule of one protein usually for me it means one protein per day, my digestion also improved a lot. And it just feels like my body is much more able to deal with more protein when it's just one kind, meaning just the fish or just the eggs or just liver or just whatever you might have. So just one kind of protein at a time. Another one, not consuming lemons with my protein-rich foods because acids tend to affect the acids of our stomach. It tends to either slow them down or make it less efficient. And so for me personally, when I stopped adding lemons to my salads, for example, or my fish, my digestion improved also. I feel so much more energetic after my meals now without adding lemon to that or any kind of acid. By the way, fresh tomatoes are also quite acidic. Cooking probably changes that property of tomatoes, but still, I wouldn't mix acidic things like lemons, limes, or tomatoes with any kind of protein-rich foods or super fatty foods either. And then the last but not least for me, I'm a huge fan of dark chocolate, but it seems that for digestion, chocolate, because of its high fat content and also there is quite a bit of protein, it's also quite a complex food. So I would definitely eat it only at the end of all of your meals, of all of your eating day, and or maybe even separately. That definitely makes a difference for my digestion. So those are a few things that I've been obsessing with, practicing, and working on. So again, zero app, a waking up app for meditation, zero fasting app, waking up app for meditation, beans, it might be a superfood for your gut, but you need to get right the combination with other foods. And then the cooking process, pressure cooking, it's essential because there are some anti-nutrients that stop our digestive system from digesting beans properly that needs to be destroyed, and pressure cooking seems to be the only way to make that happen. So beans, great sources again of resistant starch, and low carb and keto friendly. Just manage your amount and remember that most of those carbs, not most, but a lot of it is fiber. And food combining. Check out blog on createyourself.today. And if you have any questions about food combining, because it is quite a complicated subject, then let me know. I'm more than happy to share with you everything that I've learned so far. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to check all the links in the show notes. Don't forget to check out the apps I mentioned. Try out food combining, maybe add some beans into your diet. Stay tuned for future episodes this week. We're gonna go strong till the end of this week. There's gonna be a surprise guest on our podcast later this week. And guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to share this episode to learn and practice together and better. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.